we will be discussing a very important aspect of the training, and that is about the money part, the cost and benefit analysis. So, trainer has to first measure, that is the what cost he is doing this particular training program, and this is the investment, and definitely he will be looking for the ROI, return on investment. However, this is financially also and non financially also. So, whenever we are talking about the financially, so financially means that is the we will talking about the different elements and the cost associated with them, but the non financial cost also, and that is the intellectual capital. What type of the intellectual capital he is creating and investing in this particular training program. So, in the cost benefit analysis, the cost benefit analysis is the process of determining the economic benefits of a training program using the accounting methods that look at training costs and the benefits are there. The training cost information is important, right. So, naturally we have to be very careful while designing the training program, and then while designing the training program we should know that is the what cost will be required to incur in this particular training program. Training cost information is to understand total expenditures for training, that what will be the total expenditure for this particular training, and to compare the cost of alternative training programs, and then we have to also see that is the what cost is there for this particular training program and what alternative cost will be there for this particular training program. So, we have to compare also, and then we have to make the most economic benefits, right. So, therefore, in that case we are concerned with the economic benefits that is to be there in this particular type of the training programs. To evaluate the proportion of money spent on training development, administration and evaluation. Training development is also having the very huge cost, and evaluation, as well as to compare monies spent on the training for different groups of employees. So, cost will be on the training development that we have to consider. In administration of the training program, that cost we have to consider, and evaluation as well as that to compare monies, right, that is also very important, are spent on training for different groups of the employees. And if you find that is the any particular training program, if it is incurring the huge cost or otherwise also, we have to keep in mind how to control the cost. The cost is to be controlled, and then if we are able to make it cost effective training program, then definitely the sustainability and the demand of that particular training program will be more. So, when we talk about the ROI, return on investment. So, return on investment justifies the funding and to increase the status of the training and development function. Now, here the one word that you have to understand very carefully, status of the training. How will you measure the status of the training? The status of the training that has to be measured in the terms of, that is the what content knowledge level, that is very important. That is the whatever the ROI you are investing, and that ROI is to be justified that the what knowledge level, and you see that is the knowledge level, intellectual capital, measurement of the intellectual capital, creation of human capital, right. And therefore, nowadays it is easy and possible to measure and evaluate this particular the intellectual capital and human capital. Scandia was the first company who has evaluated and examined the intellectual capital, and then now we find that is it is becoming a common practice in the organization to measure the human capital. So, the status of the training program will depend on the what knowledge level, who is conducting the training program, what experience he is having, what qualifications he is having. So, this will be the status of that particular training, right, that is the what level of the trainer is. So, highly experienced is there, highly skilled is there, highly qualified trainer is there, then definitely that knowledge level is expected to be the high level of knowledge. Second is development function. How do you develop that particular training program? Suppose we are conducting a training program on the employee loyalty. If employee loyalty is to be conducted, then definitely that the status of the training and the development of that particular function, that has to be taken care of with the help of the what return will be there with the developing the level of the employees in the organization. So, if you are increasing the employee loyalty and then you are minimizing the employees turnover of any organization, then definitely it will be a great ROI on that particular training program. So, monetary you can measure, but non-monetary also you will find that there is this development function is there. ROI provides evidence of the economic value provided by the training and development programs, that is the whatever the training program is there, productivity, and this will be the productivity, as I mentioned, increase in the productivity, that is in the quantity and quality both. And when you are conducting a training program and by the training program you are improving the quality of the product, then definitely because you are increasing the productivity. So, quality is increased. So, definitely it will be there. Or very important and interesting is customer service improvements. So, when you are talking about the role of technology, use of technology, use of these FMCG products, you are talking about these consumers behavior, then all these aspects that we have to consider in the terms of the whether the customer is not only satisfied, but the customer is delighted. And if the customer is delighted, then definitely you are increasing the customer services of that particular organization. Then cost reductions. So, many consultancy companies they are conducting this training program to reduce the cost of manufacturing. They identify. So, as I mentioned, that is the 6 sources: man, machine, material, money, method and minutes, right. So, of these 6 resources, and then when you are reducing the cost, right. So, maybe in the method. So, therefore, it might be very important, that is the you are conducting a training program, you are talking going through the method different methods and then suggesting the appropriate methods. Trainees go back to their workplace and they adopt a particular method on trial basis first, they run it and they find that it is becoming a very cost effective, then definitely that will be reducing the cost. So, as I mentioned, the 6th one is minutes, that is a time savings. So, if there is a time savings, then definitely in that case it is becoming very important, that is you are saving the time by this making this particular training program. And decreased employees turnover, as already I mentioned, that is by this productivity and turnover are the common outputs are there of a particular training program, and the satisfaction of these internal customer, that is the employees, and the external customers, that those who are buying the services. However, ROI is not a substitute of trainees' reactions and whether learning and training transfer have occurred, right. So, sometimes it is possible that is your ROI is very high, but the trainees' reactions may not be positive, or whether the learning and training transfer is very high, but the cost is not saved. So, therefore, in that case we have to understand that ROI is just a parameter, monetary parameter, economic parameter, right, because there is a tangible and intangible capital. So, therefore, we have to consider both. But we talk about the ROI mainly, and then we will find out that is the how the process of determining the ROI is to be implemented. The training plans are developed for collecting data related to the measuring objectives. So, therefore, first and foremost is that is the in large organization, LEs, large enterprises, it becomes very important that is the what type of the objectives are there, what we want to achieve, identify the objectives, because these objectives are converted into the training need assessment. So, therefore, it becomes very important that is the whatever data you are collecting, you should be very clear with the objectives, that is what is the objective and why we are collecting this particular data, and therefore, in that case it will be the measuring the objectives. Isolate the effects of training from other factors, right, that might influence the data. So, therefore, in that case we should be very careful, that is whatever the data is there and then the effects of the training that we have to separate it. So, because the data will give a particular objectives and that those objectives may be having a different processes and those processes may be having the different effect of the training. Conversion to a monetary value and calculation of ROI. So, in creation process of the ROI, that is the we have to create a monetary value, right, and especially when it is becoming very subjective, right, then we have to see calculation of ROI. ROI analysis is best for training programs that are focused on an operational issues. So, therefore, this is the for the particular training program one should be very much highly focused on the return on investment issue. Especially first it will be easy step. So, easy step will be measurable, identifiable outcomes. It is a big challenge for a training program, because the training program is the learning transfer, and learning transfer is a tacit knowledge. So, whenever we are talking about the tacit knowledge and the explicit knowledge, yes, you can make the measurable, but when you are talking about the tacit knowledge, then definitely in that case it becomes very important, that is what is the you want to make the measurement of the explicit knowledge first and then the tacit knowledge also. I will come to that part. Are linked to a company wide strategy. So, what is the strategy of the company? So, when we talk about the KBOs, knowledge based organizations, those business is based on the knowledge of the employees, then definitely research organizations basically, or the new product development organizations, whether what is the objective. So, there are the many companies when we talk about the ABC companies, then those companies are more focused to come out with the new product. They do not want the shelf life of their product is to be long, and therefore, but who will come out with the new product development? And that is the employee, and that employees I will be taking this one session on design thinking, and then that employees thinking process of innovation and creativity, that is becoming very important. That is how do you proceed with that particular design thinking, and the process is there, and what is the objective. So, nowadays the objective is the thought process. The training programs are to be designed, that is the how you can channelize the thought process, the human brain thinking process, because you are competing with the AI, right, that is also the part of our group discussion. So, therefore, in that case you will find that is the it becomes very important role of artificial intelligence, and that intelligence of human capital, and then ROI of intelligence. Right. So, therefore, in that case that is the what is the company wide strategy that has to be defined. Then they are linked to the expensive. Now, naturally when we are talking about the ROI operational issues, so company wide we have to find out. strategies, and then they will be these programs that will be expensive, are highly visible because measurable. So, you can easily see this is the input, this is the process, this is the output. So, then that should be the visible wherever measurable is there, like example productivity. So, measurable will be there. Have management interest, naturally in that case whatever output you are looking for, that should be the interest of management. Sometimes management may not interest, like you are investing this, then you say okay, there will be the reduction in the employees turnover, and management may say no, keeping the old employees is not my intention, keeping the employees, retaining the employees for long term is not my intention, because my nature of organization is I want fresh ideas for a particular department, a particular section, a particular job. So, if the person will continue for long on a particular job where the new ideas, fresh mind is required, it will not make any sense ROI. So, therefore, in that case they have the management interest. What is the management's interest is there, and are attended by many employees. Those who are the employees, they are attended and are permanent, and therefore, definitely they are the employees where they want to be the they are the permanent employees are there. It means that ROI analysis is best for the training programs that are focused on an operational issue, that is the measurable identifiable outcomes. Those ROI analysis though which are linked to a company wide strategy, what is the strategy of the company, that should be the parameters in ROI, and they are expensive issues are there and are highly visible, that is the yes, this is a particular act is to be done, and then there will be the outcome, and outcome is to be measured, and have a management interest of management, and attended by many employees. It is not only restricted to some of the employees, and are permanent. So, that is it is a continuous process, it will not stop, it will be permanent in nature. So, to find out the ROI, you have to determine the cost. So, how to determine the cost? So, resource requirement model first we will talk about. It compares equipment, what equipments, what facilities, who are the personnel manpower engaged, and material costs, what will be the material cost across different stages of the training process. So, therefore, so you have to make a list. What equipments are going to be required in this particular training program, each and every one nail down. Then what are the facilities which we are going to provide, and if these are the facilities which we are going to provide, then we have to see that is the what will be the cost. So, list of the facilities, each and every employee right from the top to bottom who is getting engaged, spending time from the organization for this particular training program, and the what material is going to use, and therefore, in that case that material cost across the different stages of the training process, that has to be used. This requires assessment, development, training design, implementation, and evaluation. So, therefore, this will be the part of, that is the how the training design is to be there, what should be the training design, what will be the implementation, and what will be the evaluation, that we have to consider at the time of resource requirement model is there. Next is, it helps in determining overall differences in cost among the training programs. So, therefore, whatever the different costs are there for the training program, it should be very clear cut, and it should be very specific, and it should be able to determine that is what will be the cost among these training programs. Cost incurred at different stages of the training process can be compared across program. So, therefore, whatever the cost is incurred at the different stages, right, then that can be compared across the programs. Why I am talking again for the across the training programs, because you can see that is the where is cost more, where is cost less, and also is any element is the left out or every element is covered. right. So, therefore, that will help in determining the cost. Second is accounting. Costs related to program development or purchase, instructional materials. So, whatever the development or purchase is there for conducting this training program. For example, you are going for the recording the training program, then definitely that particular cost of the training program will increase very high. While when you are comparing with the another training program, so it is possible in the another training program that cost is not necessarily that will be incorporated. So, therefore, these instructional materials for the trainers and trainees, this is very important, that is the what instructional materials you are providing for the trainer and training. For example, when we are talking about this particular cost in the instruction material, we have to consider, that is the cost which we are going to incur, is it is going to be the right one or not. So, therefore, if you are plotting a graph, then you are plotting the graph for the first day, second day, third day, and then the level of the study material you are providing, then you have to see that whatever the cost you are incurring, that cost that has to be calculated. Calculate that cost for the each day, and not only each day, the session 1, session 2. So, if you are conducting this type of these material designing and what material is required. Now, here please also understand another important part, that is the hours, the hours for the preparation of the material, because then whenever we are talking about this particular cost of the training, then it will be very important, that is the what type of the instructional materials you are using. If you are using a particular type of instructional materials for trainers and trainees, then definitely in that case you have to see that is the level of the instruction material, and then for the trainers and trainees, those study material that is becoming a real crux of the learning. So, that accounting is to be taken for the level of content which has been introduced. Then as I mentioned, equipments and the hardware, simple hardware is like your projectors you are using, your laptops you are using, or if it is a video recording, then the cameras you are using, right, and as compared to the other small equipments here and there, that you have to consider, and then you have to consider the cost for that particular equipment. The facilities, classroom facilities, right, the air conditioning facilities, then the temperature monitoring facilities, right, then the electricity supply. So, every element is to be considered. So, whatever facilities you are providing, every facility is causing a cost. Even if you are having your own HRD center, so naturally there has to be some charge for that room, directly or indirectly. You are not calculating on the basis of the charging fees, but you have made an expenditure, organization has made an expenditure, and then they are providing the facilities to the trainees, and those facilities are to be listed down, and there should be some cost to be associated with that particular facilities. Then the travel cost, if you are the trainers are more than one, then if the trainers are more than one, then definitely in that case you have to invite, and then that cost will be there. Sometimes it is a sponsored training by government or some other agencies, then in that case for the participants you provide this type of the travel cost. For example, we conduct the quality improvement programs, QIPs, and in QIPs the participants faculties are paid, then in that case the travel cost is there, that is also to be incorporated. Then you are providing the lodging facility, so lodging facility is to be also that has to be taken. So, lodging and boarding facilities all has to be taken into the consideration. Salary of the trainer, now it is a very interesting cost. So, if you are having the fixed trainers, they are taking the training sessions, so that is a part of the salary. But if you are having the variable pay, that is, this will be the minimum cost salary, and per conducting per training program there will be an additional amount will be paid, right. But then that additional amount, that cost is also to be taken. The supporting staff, that cost is also very important, that is the you have to justify, that is the whatever the supporting staff you ask from the organization and they are contributing more, number of training programs have increased, your revenue is generated. So, this accounting is to be done, and the cost of the lost productivity, because the trainees are from the industries and when they are coming to attend a training program. So, that is the wherever they were working they are absent, and if they are absent from there, is it affecting the productivity, and how much cost is there for their remaining absent from their workplace. So, that is the productivity cost is there while trainees attending the program. So, that cost of their absence cost from the workplace, and that cost is also to be taken into account. One time costs include those related to needs assessment and the program development, and therefore, in that case, that is the whatever the one time cost is there, that has to be included to needs assessment and the program development is there, like the infrastructure. Cost per offering related to training site rental fees, trainer salaries and the other costs that are realized every time the program is offered. So, therefore, whenever there is a training program, then there will be the training site rental fees, then the trainer salaries particular for training program, and the other costs that are realized every time, that has to be program has to be into consideration. Costs for trainee include meals, material and lost productivity are expenses incurred to replace the trainees while they attend the training program. So, this cost already I mentioned above, and therefore, but the cost of the trainees meals that has to be also taken into the consideration, and as I mentioned, loss of the productivity from away from the workplace, that is also to be taken care of. So, finally, we come to the benefits, that is what will be the benefits of this particular cost and benefit analysis. The benefits will be technical, academic and practitioner. Literature summarizes the benefits that have been shown to relate to a specific training program. So, naturally, whatever there will be the gain in the areas of the technical areas, or technical means job knowledge, job performance, productivity. Benefits will be in the academic area, that is the knowledge base level that will be increasing, and practitioner literature, that is the whatever practitioner literature is there, that benefits will be there. Pilot training programs assess the benefits from a small group of trainees before a company commits more resources. So, this type of the training programs which are assessing the benefits from a small group of trainees, right. So, then that can be there and company can commit the more resources for these particular purposes. Observance of a successful job performers, right. Those who have gone for the training, they have come back from the training and then you observe their performance, and then the job performance is successful, they are performing better, helps a company determine what successful job performance do differently than unsuccessful job performance. This is the point of the tacit knowledge. Those who have attended the training, their performance is compared with those who have not attended the training program, and rest of the things are constant, rest of the parameters dimensions are constant. Then in that case you will find that is the whatever the successful job performers are there, right, because they have attended the training, it is going up. Trainees and their managers provide estimates of the training benefits, that is the what will be the outcome, what will be the delivery, what is the expected outcome, that benefit has to be there. So, there will be the cost, there will be the benefit. So, naturally benefits are to be more than the whatever is the cost is there. So, then you can say that is the that will be the ROI, return on investment. The last slide which I would like to share with you is that is what will be the steps of cost benefit analysis. So, first identify the outcomes, expected outcomes, that is the quality and accidents. place a value on the outcomes, that is what will be the value on that particular outcomes, determine the change in performance after eliminating the other potential influences on training results. So, therefore, what will be the change in performance will be there after the attending the training program, and then you have to eliminate the whatever will be the problems will come or potential influences will be there, and then actual what will be the benefit. Obtain an annual amount of benefits, that is the operational results, whatever the operational results are there that you have to obtain from the training by comparing results after training to results before training, that is the by whatever the results are there after training, right, and then has to be compared to before the training, that is in Indian rupees, because we are talking about this Indian currency. However, as I mentioned that we also conduct the international training programs, and when we are conducting the international training programs, then in that case definitely the your currency will be in Indian rupees, but then you have to consider that particular cost. Determine the training cost, that what will be the cost that you have to take care. Calculate the total savings by subtracting the training cost from benefits. So, therefore, whatever the total saving is there and whatever the cost you are talking about, that cost has to be you have to reduce, and as a result of which that when you are having after subtracting that cost, you are having the total savings, and that will be the ROI on your investment. Calculate the ROI by dividing benefits by cost. The ROI gives an estimate of the rupees return expected from the each rupees invested in the training. So, whatever amount is invested in that particular training, and then if you are making this list, you are following these steps and considering the each and every element, whether it is a tacit, whether it is an explicit, and it is direct or indirect, and then all cost you are considered, and then you are talking about the benefits, and those values of the benefit is very high. So, then it will be a rich training program. This is all about the cost and benefit analysis. So, I stop here about the cost and benefit analysis. Thank you.